CLB.
What up, world? It's your boy Chuck Wick Ill, aka Challz Brown, back again with another Talking Facts. Hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to get notified on all the upcoming episodes. All right, man, your boy Joe Budden, back at it again, still hating, still waiting for the world to come around and say he the greatest at everything. I don't know why. So, as you can see, Joe Budden is trying to stay relevant once again by lashing out at somebody he already previously had a problem with. I'm not going to even say it's a problem. It's just like when someone feels like you said something about them, they may take that to the grave. Like when South Park called Kanye a G-A-Y, I don't want to say the word because Twitter gets to censoring you, but he called him a fish stick, right? They called him a fish stick. And he never forgot it until the point where he ended up dissing the people, the makers of South Park, on one of his songs. For years, he was mad about that fish stick line, right? So now here we are. Joe Budden is mad still. He's not going to say he's mad, but he's still mad at Earl Sweatshirt because Earl Sweatshirt did an impersonation of him. He had the beard, the bald head, everything. It's like they used to do these YouTube videos, and they were jokes, they were skits, right? And I guess Earl Sweatshirt did an imitation of Budden that Budden wasn't feeling. But I guess, it is what it is. This is at the time when Budden was getting highly clowned, when he was chasing fans with the wife beater on, throwing rocks because they pulled up to his house, stuff like that. And he became a meme and all this and that. This was back then, way back, before the podcast and all that stuff, right? So, fast forward, here we are. Earl Sweatshirt, who hasn't had an album in quite some time, has finally dropped his new album, Sick, right? Got a couple songs on there. And my thing is, if I'm not going to listen to your music, then there's no need to talk about it, right? But that's not Budden thing. Budden he basically said, I'm never going to hear that. He basically saying that it's 100% going to be garbage and baddies, quote unquote, baddies meaning bad chicks. The only way he'd probably even hear it is if a bad chick come to his house and request it, and then another bad chick put it on, and then he may hear a song that way, but he don't see that happening because nobody wants to hear it. And he doesn't hear nobody out in social company asking for Earl Sweatshirt's tracks. It's just all disses. It's uncalled for disses to a man that ain't really done nothing to him. So for a guy that constantly has claimed he moved on from hip-hop, he's constantly pissing off some rapper, right? What's my guy from Black Beatles? What's my guy? Ray Sherman, right? Pissed him off because he was saying that his music, he didn't like his music, and he needed to change it or whatever the hell he was talking about with my guy, right? I can't remember his name right now, but he got mad. Every year, this guy says something negative about somebody's music when you're retired. I don't think, at this point, if you left the game because of low record sales, I don't think you got the right to really be dissing people's music, right? You were full on in the industry. You were signed on everybody's dream label was Def Jam. You were signed to Def Jam, right? You had that popping off. You had Love and Hip Hop. You had a full career. Now you're a podcaster. But at the end of the day, in your heart, you a rapper. You are a rapper. This is what you were known for. You pride yourself on bars. You've dropped records for years. Now, at this point, you've realized it's more lucrative to do podcasts, and you've also realized that when you drop these albums and they dud and flame out, it looks bad. So instead of dudding and flaming out, or trying to play the game the right way, where you do features, you get out there and you just make bigger records, you make big songs, you do a Wale type of life, instead of competing, because your fan base don't respond to that kind of music, right? You quit and say you're retiring at an age where a lot of people are flourishing. The Locks are flourishing at that age, right? Nas is flourishing. Nas making some of the best music of his career at the age you're at. So there's no reason to retire. But the only reason you retired, Buttons, is because you knew you wasn't going to be able to put the time and effort in to make a career out of it and make money out of it at the same time. They somehow seem to do it, but they dedicated to it, right? Redman out here constantly dropping, touring, doing big shows, him and Meth everywhere, right? Red is older than you. So I don't know why you felt the need to retire and do the podcast full time. I guess that's money, but it's a lot of people with podcasts that still do music. So I don't really see no other reason for you dropping out of the game except you don't want the criticism when the albums don't do what you wanted to do. I think that album, that Man in the Machine, that he did with what's this dude? Damn, I'm bugging right now. My memory's all over the place right now. A-Rap. I think that he put it all into that. I think Budden put everything into that album. I think he was like, this is it. If I can't go on my own, there's no Slaughterhouse on this. There's nobody. It's the people I want to work. I think Fab is on there, a couple other people. He got commercial records. He got hard bar records. He got retrospective, everything. He said, I'm throwing everything in here. And if I can't pop this record, giving it my all, then I might not be cut out for this. A lot of people do that. A lot of people quit a lot sooner than Budden. A lot of people, they put out one record, two records, and it doesn't do what they expect. And that's where they decide, I'm going to hang it up. I'm going to go be a management consultant or a financial advisor. They go do something else. They go into construction or, they go do something else, right? And I think that's what Budden did. He's like, yo, I love this rapping, but it ain't putting food on the table. It ain't keeping my big fat house in Jersey fully furnished for the partying that I need to do, right? But that's the conundrum. So now you got your podcast and your whole thing is to disrespect people in the same industry that you are in, actually. But now that you left the industry, you're gonna disrespect a kid who Earl Sweatshirt haven't really done a lot recently. So him dropping that album is a big deal. His fans liked it. But you're gonna go and say, oh, I ain't even gonna listen to that. You'll never catch me listening to that. Just disrespectful. Just clowning this dude. He's trending for disrespecting a kid that ain't done nothing to him. Right? And that's Joe's MO. That's Joe's MO. With everything that he does, it gotta be it's ha negative, and I'm gonna clown whoever I feel like clowning that day. And that's where the podcasting is coming in. As a matter of fact, I don't know no one else. I can't think of any other artist that is doing a podcast that is negatively impacting their peers. I can't think of anyone else. Everybody got a podcast, but ain't none of them dissing people, right? I'll wait till you tell me. Let me know let me know, right? What industry person made a podcast that they always dissing and clowning their peers? Outside of Budden, right? Taxstone gone. Taxstone is not out no more. So who else is doing that? Drink Champs don't do that. Academic's not a rapper. So who does that outside of Budden? Who's attacking other artists? Right, wrong, or indifferent outside of Budden? I'll wait for you to tell me. Put it in the comments. Because I can't think of any other artist who left the business or is still active in the business that does nothing all day but disrespect his own peers. Right? Instead of doing music with them, he could have been building his career doing tracks with people. Instead, he's sitting there clowning people's music all day and disrespecting people and having a laugh and getting paid to do it because that's what people want to hear. Right? You can always say something negative and somebody want to hear it. Right? And this guy does this all day, and that's how he earns his living, and that's fine. But somebody needs to let him know, Budden, we get it, bro. You flamed out as a rapper. You didn't have to stop rapping. People still listening. They wanted to hear it. But I guess on the level of him talking all his crap about people, he couldn't maintain talking all the negative stuff about people's music if he's dropping albums that's doing 6K first week. it don't match up. So if I'm not doing music at all, then I can say what I want. Nobody's going to be able to judge my sales because I don't have none. And I'm going to sit here and just negatively talk about people with impunity, right? You let me know what you think in the comments, man. Did Budden go too far with this Earl the Sweatshirt? I'm sure Earl is really not tripping like that. I'm sure he's like, man, he know what it is. He know this is some old petty beef and little stuff that, you know, Budden don't make or break nobody's record sales. He's not going to stop nobody from buying your music. But what he will do is start a conversation that could snowball, because some people get tagged with stuff, right? And then they become that for a long time, right? Remember how Meek was the walking L? And for years, they was L, L, L. How they was giving Russ all them L's, L, L, L. Because it's like, once your brand is famous for that, then that's what people look at you at. And now you're a joke. Like right now, the baby's trending, but it's all goofy stuff. A year ago, before this whole thing that he did with the LGBTQ, the baby was on top of the world, #1 streamed artist and all that. Now he's nothing but getting clowned completely daily, because that's the narrative right now. So it does kind of speak, if Budden creates a narrative and it sticks, it can hurt you, right? Like look at Vic Mensa. Budden even had something to say about Eminem and Kendrick's old track, that what's that record called? Love Game, that they did back in like 2013. Called that the worst record ever made, and this and that. You know how you feel about Eminem. He got an issue with him. Even though Kendrick's on there, I don't know why he went back to a record so old, but called that the worst record ever made. Just another attack on him, talking about M goes for 5 minutes on people's records, but he won't let nobody go for 5 minutes on his record. Talking about if Lil Wayne wanted to go 6 minutes on M's record, M would never allow it. He would never let the record come out. And he'd be expecting people to extend their tracks just for his verses. And where does he get off thinking that he can always do all these bars and this and that? And he did it on Nas' record. Oh, he did it on Nas' record too. Why did M think he can go? Because people want that. You're not going to tell them no. People want to hear that. They'll be the biggest selling records. The one record that M gets on and does 6-minute verse or 5, 6 minutes, 3 minutes, people want to hear that. That's the first record they're going to click on, right? That's the first record they want to click on. They're going to want to hear M's verse. It is what it is. That's why, right? It just sounds like professional jealousy to me. It sounds like somebody who's a little upset with where they are with their music career. Why do you care how long Eminem rap? And everybody know Eminem's going to go. He's going to go. He's not going to do no quick little 1-2 verse. He's not going to do 12 bars. He's not going to do 16 bars. You get him on the track, he's going to either go or he's not going to get on it at all. It ain't no in between. And most people want him to go. These days, they don't want him. He can't even get going till a minute and a half into the verse anyway. M don't even get going till it's a minute and a half in the verse. So, yes, he's going to do 3-minute verses. It is what it is. The only one complaining is you. Like, nobody goes around complaining about that. Anybody complaining about that didn't want to hear it in the first place. Most M fans going to sit back and listen and let it rock. That's what it's for. I don't understand. I really don't understand the hate that Budden consistently shows to all of his peers in the industry. But end of the day, I don't think Budden is carrying the weight of the culture on his back and making things move in one direction or the other. But let me know what you think in the comments, man. Budden right, he wrong, he different, he petty, childish, or who cares? My name is Chuck Wicks, CLBMG.com. I'm going to catch y'all on that flip side. Peace.